Let me introduce Julien. Julien is a sales manager at Bluefill Industries, an industrial equipment OEM that designs and produces automated, versatile and flexible production systems. Julien is about to visit a major customer called Crystal Clear, and they're very demanding. Before boarding, Julien consults the latest information relating to his business. He connects to the 3D Experience platform through a wireless connection and accesses his own dashboard. Many of his customers are in the food and beverage industry, and Julien is interested in keeping abreast of the latest news and trends in this industry. He's also interested in gathering information on the competition and analyzing the latest news posted by his peers through his company's social communities. He calls up the proposal that he'll be presenting to his customer. Crystal Clear wants a bottling line to rinse, fill, cap and label 50,000 bottles per hour. Based on his product portfolio, Julien can propose two solutions. The first one is two machines in parallel with a capacity of 25,000 bottles per hour each. The production capacity matches the customer's requirement. The second is only one combi line with a capacity of 45,000 bottles per hour. This solution is very competitive price-wise, but does not exactly meet the customer's requirement. The question he asks himself is, can he make his offer more competitive by increasing the capacity of the existing combi line by 10% so that it meets the customer's requirement? One click on the compass allows him to display all the ideas currently being studied in his company. This new ideation process is an easy and social way to mature and qualify innovative ideas. All actors can voice their needs and ideas and provide each other with their feedback. And one of them is related to increasing the combi line's production capacity. To ensure that this idea is feasible, he contacts François, the product manager. François, with the help of his design manager, proposes to boost the rotation speed of the carousels to reach 50,000 bottles per hour. But this speed may not be tolerated by all the machine's components. They need to identify the parts that will limit the line's performance. Julien worries this analysis will take too long and that he won't be able to provide his customer with the best solution. François reassures him that thanks to the 3D Experience platform, he'll receive a response upon his arrival. Confident, Julien flies off to meet his client. Let's see how the 3D Experience platform brings an innovative way to study and manage design changes. We begin with Josephine, responsible for machine design. She retrieves Julien's requirement among all product requirements and starts with a functional analysis. Here we see the definition of the machine's major functions. Each function is designed to satisfy a group of requirements. For example, this function is composed of several sub-functions that represent the different operations the machine must perform: rinse bottles, fill, cap, and label them. Josephine simulates the behavior of all these functions in order to check the theoretical performance of the machine and to understand which system is the most limiting. The result indicates that the function linear in-feed bottles does not allow a pace higher than 45,800 bottles per hour. Josephine will replace this linear bottle handling function with a new one which handles bottles using a rotating mechanism. Thanks to a catalogue of approved functions, she's able to replace this one by another more powerful one. She reruns the simulation to see the new machine capacity. The result is above 50,000 bottles per hour, which is in line with the request. Josephine's simulation proves that she could launch the design change for this standard machine. Let's go back a few months when the machine was designed using the 3D Experience platform. It began with Yves, the chief mechanical designer, whose role was to define the layout of the machine. For this project, a new technology for handling bottles was developed. Synchronized wheels instead of conveyor belts between rotaries were used to avoid bottle congestion and to drastically improve performance. As you can see, thanks to an intelligent design, Yves optimized the way the machine rinses, fills, caps and labels bottles. Due to the complexity of this type of product, Yves works in collaboration with his colleagues like Issam. They're discussing which parts could be reused. Their modular design approach maximizes reuse of existing parts. Design time is drastically reduced and the quality is improved. Advanced research tools simplify the retrieval of components. They're positioned by dragging and dropping them on the previously defined skeleton. In parallel, Issam works on more specific parts, such as the rinse module, which we see here. By working concurrently on the same 3D digital mock-up, they were able to create this new combi line. Let's come back to the present now to see how the change requested by Julien will be taken into account. To deal with the higher rotational speed of the rotary, Issam will need to make some adjustments. For instance, he adds a protection on the rinse module to prevent bottles from being ejected during handling. In parallel, Yves replaces the linear conveyor module by a rotational wheel module. By chatting in his working session, Issam informs Yves that the new rinse module is now available. Thanks to the 3D Experience platform, they're able to share their data and share more details over the phone. Issam manipulates the model remotely. Yves understands the behavior and verifies the kinematics in the context of the adjacent modules. The design change is therefore done with a minimum number of operations, and it's now time to validate the behavior of this machine. This is Lening's job, the simulation engineer. His first task is to check that the framework supports the rotary loads under all types of conditions. With the south quadrant of the compass, he accesses the finite element analysis applications and validates that the structure is strong enough. As you can see, there are no boundaries between the engineers and the analysts, as they're all working with the same data. Lening must also ensure that all components are well synchronized. The behavior of all hydraulic and electrical devices has been modeled. He can launch the simulation of the controller and verify the result. The real controller of the machine can be connected to the digital mock-up. Lening can thus validate the real behavior on a virtual model, which accelerates validation of the commissioning phase earlier in the development phase. In an immersive environment, the product manager visualizes the machine in real scale and can identify potential malfunctions. In the meantime, Julien is now about to reach his destination. A final design review between all stakeholders will enable them to certify all design changes. Navigating using turntables allows them to visualize in detail all the machine's parts. Lening, who's located in China, can interact in real time with his colleagues from the Paris office. All actors view and understand each detail. Color coding indicates different information, like which parts are reused or not, where the interferences are, or to compare changes. This helps them make the right decisions. Satisfied with their work, they decide to put this new version of the combi line for sale. Julien is notified upon his arrival that he can now propose this new version to his client. Philippe, VP at Crystal Spring, knows exactly what he wants for his new plant. Julien connects to the 3D Experience platform to access his company product portfolio and to directly configure the machine to meet Philippe's expectations. For example, if he wants to fill large 2-liter bottles, the configurator proposes the adequate model for bottle sizes from half a liter up to 2 liters. Philippe is very impressed, and even more so as he himself can change the options in real time. The discussion between the vendor and buyer is simplified. They're speaking the same language, with 3D to support them during their discussion. Finally, since the configuration meets all the client's requirements, Julien uses realistic rendering to show how the machine will look in Crystal Clear's factory. This instantly triggers a positive emotional response from Philippe, who closes the deal. In this journey, we've seen how easy it is to do business in the age of experience by connecting all stakeholders of the company, from sales to engineering, and enabling them to collaborate in real time on the 3D Experience platform across the globe. The 3D Experience platform definitely allows you to simplify and accelerate your business.